about the black community? What about the brothers and sisters that got killed in Buffalo, New York? Or what about the children that were, what about the children that were murdered in Texas? What about those children? What, like who's gonna stand up for them? Where's the voice for those brothers and sisters? Where are those brothers and sisters at? You know where that's at? Because there is a group of people that's standing and that's talking for them and that's fighting and defending for them. You know what that is? That's the priests and prophets of the I.S.U.P.K, man. That's who's doing that. We doing that. We don't give a damn. So if nobody else is going to stand up and say anything and defend our people, we will. If won't nobody else do it, we'll preach to the wind like we doing now.
That's right.
I.S.U.P.K.
We want no cowards in our camp, only men, free men to die. We want no cowards in our camp, never let their brothers die. We want no cowards in our camp, only men, free men to die.
Is to take our entire spirit out of this place. It is time for us to come out of her, as the scriptures say. It's time for us to wake up, man, to come back to this truth, man, to come back to One West. I know y'all been, if you've been paying attention for the past week or so, of what's been going on, or what recently has happened. We've had 2 mass shootings within the past 2 weeks. Within the past 2 weeks, we've had 2 mass shootings. 2 mass shootings, and both of those mass shootings, who was getting killed? Blacks and Hispanics, man. Blacks and Hispanics, that's who's being killed. 2 mass shootings. The 2 mass shootings happened in the past 2 weeks, and you know why, man? Because that's the spirit of America. That's the spirit of America, it's to kill. That's America, that's what's going on right now. Brother, you got that scripture, Zephaniah 2:1. Just hold that for a second. That's what's going on right now in America. We have so much killing that's going on right now. But our people, us as blacks and Hispanics, we want to be a part of America. We don't want to follow what our Father said, what the Lord said. We want to follow after America. Wondering why we're in the condition that we're in right now. Brother, you got that?
It's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Say what?
Gather yourselves together.
This is who it's talking to. You, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. God shows the people according to the Bible, man. Gather yourselves together. Separate yourselves from America, man. Separate ourselves from America so we don't have to worry about the stuff that's going on. That is a sad thing that happened. That's a sad thing that happened up there in Buffalo, New York. That should have never happened. But you know what? That's what happens to us, man, for us wanting to be integrated. Following after Dr. Martin Luther King. Wanting to be integrated with everybody, man. And don't get me wrong, that's a random thing. It's like it wasn't random. It wasn't random. Let me say that right now. That wasn't random what happened up there. That was a planned, thought out. That was a planned and thought out situation that devil did. That wasn't random at all. Let me correct myself. That wasn't random at all. That devil that went up there and shot all those brothers and sisters up there in Buffalo, New York, you think it's a coincidence that they all was black? Hell no. That ain't no coincidence. That was planned. That was planned. That was a planned action. That was planned, man. But we wanted to be following after Martin Luther King. Follow after Dr. Martin Luther King is what has us in this condition right now. Because let me tell you something. You know what you would have never heard about that happening at? Because that is New York, right? If I'm not mistaken, Buffalo, New York. You know what you wouldn't have heard of that happening there? You wouldn't have heard of that happening in the so-called Jewish man neighborhood. You wouldn't have heard of that happening there. You know why? Because that Jewish man has a system that's set in place for his people. He has protection. That Jewish man has that. And not only that, everybody in America knows that if you put your hands on a so-called Jewish man or any other oppressor, that there is consequences. But when it comes to blacks and Hispanics, where's the consequence for that? When it comes to us as blacks and Hispanics, everybody knows that you can do something else and get away with it. Won't nothing happen to you. Every time you turn around, something happens to us. We get shot down left and right in the streets, and the cops get off. Or they get a slap on the wrist. Go ahead, start from the top, brother.
It's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. O nation, not desired.
Say what?
O nation, not desired.
O nation, not desired. Why is it saying that, Israel? Because that's what it's talking to. Us as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Why is it saying, O nation, not desired? First of all, it says nation. So that already tells you that that's a group of people, that's a family. It's not talking about everybody. It says, oh nation, not desired. You know why? Because we are not desired in this hellhole called America, man. We are not desired. Every time you turn around, you're seeing something. A black man getting shot down, getting run down, getting shot in the back, running from the police, running from child support. We are not desired, man. We're hated everywhere. And they show us that every day, time and time again. America shows us that we are not desired. We done had 2 mass shooters in the past 2 weeks, and they have been Israelites. We had another shooting that went on in Texas. Majority, and those were kids. Majority of them, if not all of them, were blacks and Hispanics. Majority, as a matter of fact, and it's so bad. It's so bad to show you how much they hate us. The police were out there, and they stood outside for an hour. Slack it. They stood outside for over an hour. They stood outside for over an hour. Them were babies that got killed. Them more babies that got killed. But watch this. But a few years ago, you had a few Asians that got killed, and they came out with a crime bill because of that. Started a whole movement called a hashtag Stop Asian Hate. That's what they called it. They said it was a hate crime. Well, I got a question for you. What would you call that? What would you call the shooting that happened in Buffalo, New York? Was that not a hate crime?
Right.
Is that not a hate crime? Come on now. Every other group of people outside of blacks and Hispanics, anytime something like that or something tragic that happens to them, they get laws and policies and bills passed and call it a hate crime. But meanwhile, we still waiting. Meanwhile, we're still waiting for the victims in Charleston, South Carolina. We still ain't got no bill for that. But they even said that was a hate crime. As a matter of fact, they charged them with a hate crime. But we still ain't getting no bill passed for that, man. Come on. Come on, man. You can't tell me this place does not hate us. This is why our Father, the Lord, wants us to separate from America.
I'm not letting nobody tell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you are a black man like me. And it works, son.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, sold packs, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues, boy, this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain, something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord?